Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to PopCats, and today we're going to be talking about the premiere of Marvel's Inhumans. So we're going to give you our thoughts on the story, the characters, the look and the feel, and just the overall view of what we thought about the premiere. I'm Jera, and usually we have Chris by my side, but today we actually have a special guest with us, and he's going to be taking Chris's place for this episode.
Hey guys, I'm Austin.
And without further ado, let's just jump right into it.
All right. So
we just finished watching Inhumans.
Yep, and we have some thoughts. Okay, so
what are your overall thoughts of the show? Of the first two episodes that we saw?
It wasn't the strongest opening.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. Just going based off like what I know about the characters, because I didn't like the animation for like their city or the dog, but I can like take and leave stuff like that. It kind of bothers me, but I get used to it.
I can see the dog growing on me. The city was could have been better.
Yeah, the dog kind of you ignore it because it has personality. But the city didn't look that great. Okay, so going through like the list of characters.
Okay.
Black Bolt,
he's probably my favorite.
He might be, yeah.
Of the main characters.
Going into this, I thought he would be my least favorite because he definitely had the most challenging part of this, which is acting without, vocalizing. So
yeah,
just with his emotions, he did a pretty good job. Like when he was arrested, and he just I was like, all right.
I mean, I like it because he's like.
And when he was getting like get down on your knees, he's like,
what?
Put your hands behind your head,
like with these clothes? Huh? I don't think so. I like Black Bolt. He did a very good job. The actor did a very good job of like you said. He did a very good job of giving him characteristics without him having a voice.
Yeah,
and that's hard for some actors to do whenever they're playing a mute character or a character that doesn't talk.
The parts I didn't like him in the most were actually when he was interacting with other characters.
Yeah?
Like the more well-known, like Medusae, like besides that sex scene, because she's talking for him, she's doing the acting for him kind of, and it kind of doesn't translate that well, I don't think. Because you don't pay attention as much to his facial expressions with it and his acting, so it kind of takes it away. Because like when he did like this to his brother, just like stop talking or whatever, it wasn't as imposing as it could have been.
I honestly thought he was gonna have like a translator, or or I at least thought everyone was gonna know what the sign language meant,
or like. They could have had...
I know Medusae was the translator. I thought he was going to have, like, his own... I thought he was going to have, like, subtitles.
Yeah, subtitles.
Yeah, and I thought everyone
or
was just going to know
their
what
technology is
was.
Apparently so advanced. Could he have, like, a collar around his neck that connects to his mind that's, like, has a Siri voice going out or something?
Like a Stephen Hawking computer voice.
Yeah, because... Yeah, when he's interacting with... new people for the first time, that's when his acting shows the most.
Right.
With his facial expressions. So, he did a good job with that. Those cops that hit him, that was so stupid. Like, as soon as, like, they tased him, and he, like, and destroyed that car, I would have gone the fuck out of there.
That's another thing.
Like, if he stubs his toe, someone dies.
Yeah. That's another thing. The action scenes in this weren't the greatest. Out of all of the Marvel shows I've seen, probably the worst. Yeah. In all honesty. Because, like, there were just some times where, like, they would just go up and, like, oh!
Because if you, like, compare it to Daredevil, the action scenes are really good in that.
Yeah, they are.
And, some people don't like the acting in that, and I think it's pretty good. It's okay. But, like, I at least expect good fight scenes all around.
Right.
Or, you know who does really good like fight scenes? Jackie Chan, because he's always afraid when he's fighting. Like it shows.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
but has like a clumsy kind of fighting.
I know, but in that he's always kind of afraid, and that has a thing of like he can die.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, sorry. Okay, going on to Medusae.
Mm-hmm. I kind of liked her.
I kind of liked her.
She was fine,
but
for the most part,
some of her acting is a little campy.
Mm-hmm.
Like when her hair got cut off, like having the razor, it lost something.
That was
that scene.
That scene. It was so funny.
I mean, I know what they were trying to go with.
I was like,
like just her facial expressions that were.
Going bald's not bad.
For me, it is. That'd be awful.
Oh,
you don't want to see.
You'd be fine.
I straightened my hair once. It was awful. I looked emo as fuck.
I actually had curly hair, like just a week ago.
Anyway,
I was trying to grow it out as long as yours, but that'd take a couple years.
This is my short hair.
Oh, well,
because I grow it out big a lot.
It'd take me a couple years just to get to your short hair.
Okay. Anyway, getting back to.
When I first saw Medusa's design, or like what they were doing for her costume as a character, I didn't like how she had long hair. Like her long hair just didn't look good. At least I didn't think so. But then they cut her hair. I actually think that look works for her.
It works for her, but just just going forward, just without her powers, just seems like such a huge drawback for her.
Well,
just for the character.
Well, I mean, the fact that they got rid of her powers just means they don't have to do the animation for her hair anymore.
I know. I don't know what their budget is, and how much like the hair thing costs.
Probably not going to be much after the first 2 episodes.
Yeah. Well, that's a whole other thing. But like, even if it had gone a little better, like I would have rather she had her power with it. I mean, it is kind of interesting to that kind of trope of like, because in a lot of things they have some kind of way where their powers are immobilized and they have to get along without it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's interesting, but I don't want that for like the whole thing when she was established as someone with a power. And then because I didn't mind the animation for her hair.
I mean, the animation was fine. I just didn't like the way her hair looked. Like it's I don't know. Hair power always just seemed dumb to me. I mean, like controlling your hair as like tendrils. Ideally, it's cool, but it still kind of seems dumb. Yeah. As compared to like with people who use like shadows tendrils, who can basically do the same exact thing her hair can do.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's my personal opinion. It just seemed always a little weird.
Do you think they're gonna, like, I don't know if it will grow back quicker for her because she's an Inhuman? So could we get that back again? And that's
I don't know. Maybe she doesn't shave her leg hair. Maybe she can use her leg hair.
Just has a bunch of pussy hair, like biggest.
Oh God. Oh God.
Oh God. Oh yes.
Moving on. Who's the next guy on your list?
Maximus. I've got like mixed feelings about him.
Whatever.
I kind of see where he's going because just learning about their caste system, it's really fucked up because they're basically having the people with the least amount of power subjugating them in a way by having them do the most backbreaking work when they can't do the most work.
Yeah.
Like, if you took all the powered people, because like the Asian guy who, what's his name? Karnak, who can like see the weaknesses or the best way to
like
do
the
stuff.
Flaws and stuff like that.
Couldn't he like oversee that place and be like, hey, hit here a lot and we'll get more like coal or whatever they're mining. And couldn't like the guy with the feet just like kick it like 3 times and have enough coal for like a year?
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's like some other.
Well, they're probably busy.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some other strong people. Because, like, I don't think they're using their resources well enough. Because
you don't think they're using them, like, efficiently?
Yeah, efficiently. Because
you would think, like, the people with powers would have to do the more manual labor.
Or not even, like, backbreaking work, just...
for them, it wouldn't be backbreaking.
Yeah, I know, because it would be quicker for them. So I'm kind of on his side. We're like, these people are fucked up. That doing all this for all the non-powered people, having them do more work when they have all this power and they're not doing the best job governing their own system.
Right. I mean, I get where he's coming from, and I get all that. He seems like a Loki character, and we already have a Loki. So why do we need Maximus?
Yeah. I just get his motivation of, like, kind of why he's doing it.
I get it.
And they said, like, he has the ear of the people. You need to, like, watch out for him earlier. So I kind of... He's, like, half sympathetic for that. And then, like, some of his acting where he's, like, doing this kind of for Medusae. Because he has a crush on her because when he was a kid. That just... It's been done so much, and it's not done well here. What do you think? My opinion.
What do you think of the casting choice for Maximus? Ewan Rion? I think his name.
Even though he's such a dick in Game of Thrones, I love how evil he can be, and he can be a compelling villain, and he's half a compelling villain in here.
Yeah,
he's not reaching his full potential because of the reason they're giving for it.
I think you could be a really good villain, and like I think you could be a good antagonist while still having, like, your good reasons. I think he could probably pull it off, but they just didn't do a good job of, like, fully conveying it. Because, like, then again, like I said, the acting was kind of bad in here.
Yeah.
The acting was, like, really okay.
See, the thing that, since he doesn't have powers, his power really is his influence, which I think didn't show as well here. Because he barely had any support, really.
Well, he didn't have any.
I know.
Because he's a human.
I know. He doesn't have that, but he should have more influence if that's going to be his ability. Or if that's his main thing.
Well, he's trying to build influence. The idea behind the story is that he's trying to build influence because he's just a lowly human. But then now the entire royal family's gone. He's like, I'm the only one left, so you might as well back me. And I can see what they're doing. This is kind of like a building story for this character. We're going to see, like, what kind of ruler he becomes, like, what kind of stuff he does. Like, is he going to be shady? Is he going to be the good guy? Is he going to be bad guy? Yeah. We don't know.
I just feel like if you're going to do a coup, you should have more influence with people if you don't have any powers to physically, take them out yourself.
I can see that. I could see the show could have been way different from what it is. It could have been like a building up towards the coup.
Or I wish he was good with, like, a weapon or something. Like a Jango Fett Obi-Wan fight where he can, like, contest with him even though he doesn't have as much power. He goes around the power and does it sneakily and from the side because he can't confront someone head on. I wish they had something like that, and they could have done more creative fight choreography if he didn't have power and was going up against someone.
One of the things I said at the beginning of one of the things I always thought about, like, whenever I first saw this Inhumans thing, I said that it looks like Marvel's attempt at Game of Thrones, but I didn't see a lot of that. And I kind of wish I did. Because that could have been really cool. You have this kingdom full of Inhumans and humans. And there's, like, kind of like a class diversity. And, like, people resent the other class for having powers while they have to do all the manual labor. And, like, there could be problems and stuff like that. I think it could have worked out really well. And it could have been, like, Marvel's own little thing for, like, their answer to Game of Thrones.
You know what I think they should have done?
What?
Because do you remember that scene at the beginning, like, after the butterfly girl got her powers and the other guy thought he didn't, and that one, like, coal worker's like, you should be working down here with us, you don't have any powers, and like, yeah, they shouldn't have said that. They should have been like, hey, we respect you because you kind of represent us higher up. Mm-hmm. And I think there should have been like more of a class war going on there. Well, like more unrest with the people, and then like he presents the solution. And they kind of did that, but not really.
I think there was kind of a class war there because like
there was, but they didn't show enough of the side with people with powers, which kind of bugged me.
Yeah, like the only representation for the people with powers you got was the royal family, and that's not. I get it, but it's not really a good representation of Adelan as a whole.
Yeah,
it's just the royal family, and you saw like the middle class that people were. Like all the slave labor. Well, not slave labor.
Well, this is like the lower class, actually.
Yeah.
It's like half slave labor. Because it's not like...
Well, was it slave labor?
It's not actual, but it's very lower class. And it's like forced lower class. Because you don't have a choice in what you do. I mean, but it's not like everyone with powers is like the royal family and haven't made. They just are better off.
You don't see much about like what happens in terms of like
what's this place called again?
Adelan. Attilan. Sorry,
I'm never gonna remember that.
Okay, but it's like you don't really see like the other. Going back to what you said, you don't really see the other half of this whole class war thing. You don't see like regular everyday citizens of Adelan going like are they just all posh and stuff like that, or are they just living large in their fancy palaces and stuff like that,
or are they just like living regularly and like the other people are living lower?
Yeah, or like some of them who are in like the higher class having to deal with being like in a lower class situation too. So is the race conflict not as as black and white as we think it is?
Yeah. See, I kind of would have preferred that to some of their action sequences, just to like know their culture, because we don't
see much of the culture.
Yeah, I really wanted to go into this blind, not knowing anything, and it really disappointed me. I kind of wish I had learned some stuff now, but it's okay. I want to learn their interpretation of how things are, because I know shows and comics can be so different. Yeah. Anyway, if they had just like shown like here's like the dwellings or like the houses of some of the lower class people, and here's like some of the upper class, and like, oh, these stupid humans or whatever, and some other. I wish they had more back and forth. Like if some
like
of
more balance.
Yeah, like if some of the people with powers are like upper class, kind of like a Malfoy-ish people, and some of them are like, no, it doesn't matter, and had a little bit more struggle, like even within themselves. That could have been better.
Yeah. Okay. So as far as the other characters go, didn't care at all.
Yeah. Okay.
Not interested in them at all.
That Triton dude at the beginning with the green.
I feel like he's a throwaway character right now.
He is a throwaway character. I'm just mentioning all the characters.
I don't think he was even like big in the comics. I think he was like another throwaway character that they just kept around.
And that,
in case they want to do something big with him, maybe.
That makeup didn't look good on him.
No, it did not.
And what is his power? Just being green?
I think he's like, well, his name is Triton, right?
Yeah.
And Triton is the son of Poseidon.
And he fell into the sea, so that's why I wrote him down, because I thought he might come back.
Yeah, he's probably just somewhere chilling off in Atlantis or something.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? That'd be cool if Atlantis was like another Inhuman colony. That'd be cool.
Like we just have Poseidon.
Marvel Universe has an Atlantis where they have Namor.
Anyway, all right. Some of the other ones, Lockjaw, the dog, kind of talked about.
He's cool. I mean,
I think we just
animation was weird.
I think we just need time to accept him, because it's an animal, and like with Appa and Last Airbender, at the beginning I
always liked Appa.
I know, but at the first episode, just seeing that, he didn't do much.
Yeah.
So it could be like that
in the comics.
I'm not comparing him that much to Appa, because I love Appa.
In comics, Lockjaw has a thing that is the same.
He had the
no. I'm getting there. Don't rush me.
Oh, sorry.
Lockjaw has a thing, like a tattoo in the comics that Black Bolt had, but because Black Bolt had a mask, it was like a little thing that actually popped out. It's like Flash's ear things.
like lightning bolts, they actually pop out of the thing, or like out of the mask. Lockjaw had one of those in the comics, but in here he has a tattoo, which I thought was like, okay, they're making it a little bit more realistic. I can appreciate that. It's pretty cool.
I didn't get the sense it was a tattoo. I thought it was like, well, never mind. Yeah, it was.
Well, I mean, it was like it's like a birthmark.
Yeah, it's more like a birthmark that glows.
Mm-hmm. But I also don't like how they captured him. I feel like it would have been better. From what I understand, Lockjaw was always like a carefree kind of character. I haven't read too much of the Inhuman stuff. I've read enough to know Lockjaw was always kind of like, he stuck with the Inhumans, but sometimes he would just wander off and just do his own thing or whatever. So I feel like it would have been a good idea if he just kind of like roamed off in this situation.
All right.
And he's just like, he's around Hawaii somewhere, and people are just like, there's a big ass fucking dog.
He just took a dump in the middle of the street. My rims are fucked to hell.
He disappeared.
I drove over. My axle broke. My car smells like shit.
Yeah.
All right. Gorgon, the hoof guy.
Yeah, I don't care.
I didn't care that much. I would have liked it because they had him as the badass, and he didn't do a lot of fighting. He did one stomp.
Yeah.
If they had like.
And then, like, he tried to go swimming, and then he couldn't because he has goat legs.
Because black man can't swim.
Well,
I was just kidding. We're cutting that out.
You. No, we're keeping that one in.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean, no, but like he couldn't swim. I don't know.
Why would he try if he couldn't?
I thought goats could swim.
I didn't think they could, but
I don't know. I guess
Can
not.
they?
Well, like he had to have tried to go swimming once before. Like
he had to have like understand like what an ocean is.
If he can't swim, then he can't swim. I don't know why they thought.
I don't know why he tried.
Yeah.
It's like your feet aren't good for swimming.
Yeah.
Like those Hawaiian guys.
Yeah, the Hawaiian guys that found him
I liked
after
how stupid
he was
they
about
were.
to. Yeah.
I like how accepting they were. They're like, yeah, there's just guys with hoof feet.
Well,
and,
I mean,
and
in the
civilization on the moon.
Well, in the world you live in, you're living in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. In this world, you had an alien invasion that happened that was stopped by a man out of time, a man in a suit of armor, a giant, a jolly green giant, the god of thunder with a hammer, a sexy redhead in a black latex suit, and a guy with a couple of arrows.
Yeah.
I mean, your suspension of disbelief is probably way up there at this point. You know?
Yeah. He did have my favorite line, like, who's gonna believe a guy with hooves on the moon? He's like, that looks like a guy with hooves. I love that line.
Yeah.
It's like, who's gonna believe that? There's hooves on the moon.
Yeah.
The poorly funded NASA people.
I don't care about them at all.
That's the most throwaway part of this whole thing.
Yes, that is. Like, out of all the things I don't care about, that was the last thing in my head. It was like, I care about them the least. Or the most. I care about them the least.
Yeah. Because it didn't feel like it was going anywhere. And what happens when she finds out? Like, okay.
And then there was this thing where she, like, looking at her necklace or something. Because their suspension
of disbelief is apparently down here, even though it's supposed to be up here.
Yeah, seriously. And then there's this thing where she's looking at her necklace. I guess we're supposed to learn more about that in the series, but as far as right now goes.
While I'm remembering this, that stupid flashback to Medusa getting her hair cut 2 minutes after her hair was cut. You don't need to. That's not a flashback. That's remembering what happened.
Yeah, well, I've been thinking about this. Because this was like a 2-part episode, it might have been like right there was like the beginning of like the next episode. It might have been.
Oh, okay. It might
so
have been,
that would make sense.
Yeah, because we watched as the whole thing. We didn't take a break in between.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Okay, yeah.
But
even though
it's still kind of stupid.
That might be a thing for like when the DVD comes out, just so. But still, it's still been for her only 2 minutes since it happened.
Yeah.
Karnak, the Asian guy with who can see like what's the most probable thing to do.
He's pretty interesting.
I liked his power.
Yeah. He's funny.
He is never gonna get a date. Ever.
No,
That's not gonna work.
He's too honest.
Yeah.
He's honest to a fault.
I hate the way you laugh or whatever. Whatever he said.
And then I want to kill you. Yeah. How romantic.
I did like how
he's a sweetheart.
I like how Corgan's like, you're your worst enemy. Alright, and
but I liked his powers.
I liked his powers. His personality is hard to get around the first time.
Whenever I saw Karnak in the comics, I always associated him with like Iron Fist and stuff like that. Cause in the comics,
his personality or his powers?
Well, just him as a character.
Just him?
Yeah, because I get he's an Inhuman, but he's a very skilled martial artist. You probably can't really get that from the Inhumans because everyone kind of does like some form of unarmed combat. But he's like
not very well, but yeah.
Yeah, but he's a really great martial artist. Like he can detect any weakness in whatever plan, and he can make the most perfect plan without any flaws. And I always thought he was
that's a very hard thing to counter.
Yeah, and
that almost makes him overpowered for me.
Yeah, but there's also this thing where I thought he was, for the longest time, I thought he was associated with Iron Fist, mainly because of like just the way he dressed. Like, if I could pull up a picture real quick. So yeah, that's Iron Fist, right?
Yeah,
and then this is Karnak.
Oh,
so
okay.
They kind of had like a
look.
They kind of had like a similar design. And plus, they're both like really skilled martial artists.
Yeah.
And so I thought they might do something with that, but they didn't, and I'm kind of disappointed.
Yeah. Well, with him being, like you said, a good martial artist, his power kind of almost takes away from his skill, because if he just sees the most likely probability of things, it takes away like an element of danger for him, because like say if he went up to
we were talking about this actually.
Yeah, if he went up to Maximus and like his royal guard were there, he would see the most likely probability to counter it. So he's technically the best fighter there, but doesn't quite deserve it, because I like a fight where there's stakes for both sides. And it doesn't feel like he has any stakes of getting hurt, except if you sneak up on him.
The idea behind it is just that he's an analyst.
Yeah.
That's basically the idea behind it. It's like he's kind of like Batman in that situation, where it's like.
But the thing is, Batman can get hurt though.
Well, yeah,
because he doesn't see everything that goes on.
But Karnak doesn't either. He just
DC fans are gonna, or the Marvel fans will be like, "You talking about DC? What the fuck?"
No, but Karnak can analyze a situation and find the best way to approach said situation.
Okay.
That's really what his thing is. That's really what his power is. And it's not even really a power. I mean, because people like Batman can do it.
Yeah.
And Batman doesn't have any powers.
But him,
except
he's like
money.
But him, he's like physically seeing the parts. Like that first fight, I actually liked that. That was probably my favorite fight of this whole thing so far, because like for a second I thought he was dead, and then seeing like just how his mind works is really cool in a fight. It's like, well, you shouldn't have given me a choice.
Yeah, one of the things about that about the show is that whenever like if Karnak gets hurt, because apparently he did really get hurt in the episode, I didn't believe it, because in the previous episode or in the
wait, the character or the actor?
Karnak.
Okay.
The character.
Okay.
In the time before, he was fighting the guys, and then he got shot. But then it turns out he didn't actually get shot. He was just analyzing the situation. What's the best approach for it? And so whenever he fell off a cliff, and then he got hurt, and his head was bloody for the rest of the episode. And so whenever he got hurt and he fell off, I didn't believe he actually fell off. I thought like he's like he just thinking like shouldn't take that rock. I should climb down another way.
Yeah, I talked about this because the first time you see it, it's good, but every other time after, you're gonna have it in the back of your mind. Okay, is he really hurt, or are they just psyching us out?
Right.
And then it kind of takes away your fear of what happens to him. So his power works weird for an actual fight. Like for him, it works great. For the audience, it doesn't. Yeah, because it suspends our something bad can happen to this guy.
Yeah. All right. I think there's ways to possibly get around that, though. Yeah. Maybe.
Last person I have is Crystal, the Element Girl.
Absolutely useless in this episode.
What I really hated is when they had so little protection for her, and given the potential of her power, I don't know if they might use it so much on a production base because it might take a lot of money for that animation, but she has power over all the fucking elements. Yeah, she's the Avatar. Yeah, she can just earthbend her ass out of that confined room, firebend those 2 guards.
Well, it might be a situation to where she doesn't have much experience with her powers.
How old is she?
She's the youngest out of all of them.
Even so, she's like
and also she's a teenager. I don't know what her training is. I don't know if she's had any form of training
to try this out, to get your power, to try to get your power.
Well,
because she's the younger sister.
It has to be like a teenager at least. How do you think that the butterfly girl was?
I don't know.
She
okay, let's just say 16.
Yeah, 16.
That's the golden age for everyone and everything. So say she's 16 and say she's 18 now, and that's being generous.
She honestly looks 17 or something.
Okay, 17. So
to me,
an entire year of practicing it, wouldn't that be the focus of your entire life? Because
you're also a royal family, so you have other responsibilities.
You may be a royal family, but just as a person, in your entire culture is all these people having powers. Wouldn't you be trying to see what you could do with that the entire time you have it? Because I mean we're guessing how long she has it, but still you could do so much with that, and I would just be practicing it all the time.
Well, I mean, of course you would. You'd be excited just to have powers.
I know, but she would be more excited because that's her culture.
But maybe not, because there's also a bunch of other stuff where it's it's part of my culture. I'm not down with it though. But it's whatever. It's I want to get out of this small town or whatever. But she's just a kid, and she's worried about other stuff, and it's oh yeah, powers. It's no big deal. Everyone in our city has them except for a couple. Well, whatever. I'm just a teenager and whatever.
You might have a point because they touched on the thing her parents were revolutionaries or something against
the old traditions,
which are what Black Bolt's parents
stood for.
So his parents stood up for the regime as it is, which we have a problem with just as it is, and that's kind of what makes me sympathize a little bit with Maximus. Yeah. And so they are rebelling against that, and at some point either they die before Maximus' parents or after, and she just kind of gives up because her sister went with him.
Yeah, I don't
know how much she might not have been. Parents.
She might not have been old enough to understand the situation fully.
She might not have, but she certainly.
There's a lot of unexplained stuff going on, which I'm pretty sure they're going to explain in the.
But what I was getting at with it is that they're setting it up to be she might join with Maximus because of what her parents believed. Yeah, and
which would be interesting.
It would be interesting, but just. Why is she with things as they are? Because her sister
she might be
her sister doesn't believe in what her parents believed because she loves Black Bolt. But what allegiance does Crystal have to that? Because she's not with Maximus. Well, she may like her sister's happiness, but that doesn't mean she has to agree with her political views.
Well, it might just be a situation to where you're ignorant bliss, it's you got powers, you're in the royal family, your life is so sweet right now, Like, you're in the upper echelon of everything inside this city. Your life couldn't get any better. Why do you need to care about anything? You're just chilling. You're just having a good time. You don't care about the politics that are going on.
Yeah.
You just care about having fun.
Fair.
You're a teenager. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Well, I was bringing that up because what we were saying before about the class system, I was
Mm-hmm.
thinking maybe they might have flashbacks to then to like compel her to what she's doing.
That's possible.
And that might show us what we were kind of talking about earlier about the class system thing. Like maybe some of the people with powers are more snooty about it and glad that they're on top and everyone else is on bottom, and then maybe some of the people with powers were against it. Maybe like her parents had powers and were like a revolt against it. So it says a lot that I'm more interested in what I think could happen than what they've shown me so far.
Well, that's the thing about a lot of these shows, and that's especially the case for me. I will enjoy the concept of something more than I will enjoy the actual product.
Because
I've said that
speculating with our
a lot of things.
thought about it, we could go off and like, oh, this would be so cool, and then this happens, and like, oh, that's okay.
Going off of that, I thought it would have been more interesting if they explored her teenager stuff, because that's the way she was in the comic. She was a teenager, she was young, and she blah blah blah. Like one of the ways they introduced the Inhumans to the Fantastic Four is that Johnny Storm was actually
Dating her.
Yeah, he was dating her.
Well, he dates everyone. He's
Yeah,
he's a huge.
Yeah, but like he's like Johnny Storm. He's like handsome and he's young and he's got these fire powers and he's like a showboat and stuff like that. And Crystal is this young, beautiful girl, and she's pretty, and she's like, oh, he's hot in both ways. I'm awesome. He has powers. I have powers. Like, we'll hang out and we'll do the young person thing. Like, we'll get smoothies and then we'll melt him.
Yeah.
And then I'll recool them because I got ice powers.
Okay. What else? Just while we're thinking.
But what'd you think of like the animation for the show and stuff like that? Like the special effects.
I just didn't like the city, the way it looked.
Yeah.
Because it showed a lot of aerial views of like the top of the place and in like the, I call it the Cerebro place where Black Bolt was. I don't know, because it has this. It doesn't have a roof to it, and well, I guess it doesn't need it. But
I've seen a lot more impressive stuff from Marvel.
just that aerial view of that like palace, it didn't look that great.
Yeah, this is probably
I do know
the worst in their special effects.
Didn't they release this as an IMAX?
Yeah.
Yeah, because maybe it looked better there. I don't know.
It's possible. There's a lot of
because some things look better on like a bigger screen.
Yeah. What'd you think about the acting overall? Like, who were some of the best actors you would say?
Black Bolt when he's alone, because when he plays off her, like they have
Medusa?
they have chemistry. But
Medusa?
like, yeah, Medusa.
Yeah.
They have chemistry. They don't have great. She doesn't dialogue well for him. She doesn't convey like his message as authoritatively as like.
What makes you say that?
I don't know. It just like after Triton is presumed dead, like when she's talking for him and like saying that it was like a covert thing, it didn't feel as like shocking like from their part, because I don't know. It just, when she translates for him, it just doesn't come off as well. I think.
I have to agree.
What do you think?
Best acting is probably from Black Bolt.
Because his facial expressions are, when he's being funny, when he's kind of being serious,
he has really good facial expressions.
It's just I don't think he doesn't play off well with their acting.
But he does very well with facial expressions, even though he's a very like stern person.
He's a very stern person, but he's like, he has that like straight man like about him that just like being so quiet and so serious, it can be funny.
There were some directions in the movie, I guess it was, episodes. There's some directions in the episodes where they had to do certain things. I'm guessing because of the writing. There was just kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of hard to believe. Like he took the communicator and he put it on his heart instead of like tapping like. You could. I mean, I get it. It's like a romantic gesture.
It is. It felt silly.
Yeah.
It felt silly to us watching that.
Yeah, and then there was also like she took the communicator and then from the Ahura lady, the like Maximus's assassin or whatever.
Yeah.
And she called him and he picked it up, even though the communicator wasn't Medusa's.
Yeah.
So like, how do you know like it was safe to answer?
I think all the communicators are just technology, and they have to be because.
But if he's trying to make sure he's
Gorgon
not being...
said, "I'm leaving my thing on," so it has to be left on longer to track.
Yeah.
So,
but like he still needs. There's just this thing where Medusa calls him and he answers, and you were explaining to me like he's not going to answer for the bad guys. Like he's not going to answer for Maximus or Ahura. But how does he even know that's not?
Well, didn't she call him first? She said
she called him. She called him first, but then the second time she called him again. How do you know that was going to be Medusa? Maybe. Or how do you know it was safe to answer at all?
Sorry. I don't know. He just assumed.
Yeah. The show has like a lot of like plot holes.
Yeah.
And like it's just a few, not a lot of plot holes. There's a few things, but what do you think about the show overall?
Overall, like
I went into the show with low expectations because of all of the news I've heard. And then I remember and it basically lived up to those low expectations. But I remember going into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and I wasn't all that impressed at first.
Comparing it to some of like the other shows we've seen, like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I just couldn't get into, so that one I'm keeping out. But when I watched season 1 of Daredevil, like the first episode was kind of okay. I was mainly intrigued by the fighting. Like the acting was just secondary. Cause
acting was great in Daredevil.
Well, at the first episode, it was okay. Cause like Foggy for me,
you know what
he didn't pick up until like episode 10 when he finds out and like he's like, you fucking asshole, why did you tell me this whole time? Like I believe that it was so compelling, like his anger and hate at this whole time, like he's been lied to. Because that's when I really liked him, like almost at the end. But like I liked all the fighting was so great in that, and then in Jessica Jones, I immediately liked the character because even though she's like an asshole sometimes, she's just so great, and that villain is just so terrifying. That's the most terrifying villain in all of Marvel for me. Kilgrave.
I like Wilson Fisk. He's a really good villain.
I did like Wilson Fisk.
That's one of the examples of what I was talking about. Like the acting was really good in Daredevil. Wilson Fisk pulled it off
because really well. The villains were great.
Ontario, what was his name?
I don't know. But
what did you think about the direction they went with this show? How they did that storyline and like what did you think about
the story?
So like, what did you think about the storyline just in general of the show?
Of him, betraying his brother.
It
was okay.
Like, do you think it was a good story?
It was an okay story. The reason it wasn't good is going back to like some of the acting direction I didn't think was as good. Because I wanted more from Maximus. Because if you don't have a great villain,
Vincent D'Onofrio, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
I'm sorry. Continue, please.
Because when you have a stronger villain, it's more compelling for a hero.
Right.
And he was okay. There's some things that I want more. Like I said, like I either want him to be like more of a political, like go against the grain, Loki, like someone who has to talk more and conveys more threat with their influence and how much power they have than how much physical strength they have. And he had that. I would have also liked something more from him because like with Wilson Fisk, when he's like talking, you believe that he's like, I'm doing all these terrible things because so much terrible things are happening and I have to be the bad guy, the biggest bad guy, so
to be the good guy.
To be the good guy, yeah. And that was compelling.
That is compelling.
And even though Kilgrave, like, his motivations aren't compelling, he's just so terrifying with his power.
Yeah.
Because it takes away all your free will. And since
but as for Maximus, you just didn't get all that.
See, I kind of get his political influence, which is...
You get his motivation.
You get his motivation and his influence a little bit, but
his influence, really?
Well...
I didn't really see all of
he had I said he had a tiny bit, because he had, like, the Royal Guard and some people, and he's building it, and I would have liked, to have it more, Like, he had to go against the science community, and I would have liked if he had them on his side.
I would have liked to see him build, like, a secret uprising.
Yeah.
Like that's what the season would have been about. Like, Maximus is building the secret uprising. Meanwhile, Black Bolt's dealing with, like, the Inhumans being mistreated on Earth.
Yeah.
Like, while the rest of the family is like, you shouldn't be doing this. You need to be here for your people. Don't worry about those people. Be here for your people. And he's like...
Well, he had two motivations. He had the motivation of his people, like... because they're being a little oppressed by the regime. And he also wanted to go to Earth for some reason. I kind of get
Why did he want to go to Earth? I didn't see anything about that.
Well, remember he said, like, we should go to Earth at the beginning? He did, because he thinks the place is too small to, like...
That was
to house, like, the powered people. Because he's kind of on kind of on their side, too.
That was Maximus.
No. Yeah, that's
Maximus said
that's what I was talking about. Did I say Black Bolt?
Yeah.
I meant Maximus.
Yeah, we were talking about Black Bolt.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
That was my bad. But, yeah. I said two motivations. Maximus is political and then him wanting to go to Earth.
Yeah. But as far as Black Bolt, he wanted to save his people. Yeah. He wanted his people
because he cares about his people. He cares about people with power that have been left behind over the remnants of what their civilization left all those years ago.
Yeah.
Which goes a little into S.H.I.E.L.D., and I need to rewatch that to, like, get the full thing of it. But I did recognize...
It doesn't really explain it all that much.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of like what I gathered. It's that civilization is just left behind. And, like, these are, like, they're evolved of what's left, because that symbol that Coulson kept drawing, that was on the back of the throne.
Yeah. I'd also assume that in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. they had this monastery somewhere. I don't know where it was.
Yeah.
But they had this monastery where, like, they had all the Inhumans come in.
And didn't they have, like, a crystal that gave, like, Skye her power?
Yeah, the Terrigenesis crystals.
Yeah, and that's kind of the same thing with... Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It is the same thing. Sorry. But, like, you have to imagine this can't be the only place.
Yeah.
Like, there has to be other places too. So you have this monastery in...
Was that in Hawaii?
Where no.
In S.H.I.E.L.D.?
No, it wasn't.
No. But do you remember, like, the girl with black hair? She, like, transported through, like, a rock guy, that was so weird.
That was weird.
But she, like, got through it and, like, had to blast her way out.
Yeah, because she got stuck in a rock.
Yeah, but I think that was, like, another way to get there, in addition to, like, the shield thing. I don't know if it's on the same island. Like, it's...
Like, what do you mean the shield thing?
Because, like, in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., like, when Skye got her power, they were on, like, an island, right?
I think so. I don't remember.
I don't remember if it was in Hawaii, but... And that's, like, a leftover thing of their ancient culture. And I was wondering if where that girl that heals herself, is that the same thing or close
Well,
by?
they had what happened is that Sky broke out and she got her powers, and then she was rescued by Shield.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you're talking about in terms of like
Just like the teleportation thing, like
what teleportation thing.
well, she was on the moon, right? The girl who heals herself, and she went through the weird rock guy.
Yeah.
And she was on Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
So is that the same place where the ancient rune that Sky found with that gave her earthquake powers?
No, I don't think so.
I thought it might not be. I could be wrong.
I could be wrong too. It's totally possible. It's been a while.
I just remember it was near an ocean.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the world's near an ocean.
It was a very pretty ocean. And then this is Hawaii. It's not that far a jump.
Yeah. No, you're right.
It's and they had the symbol thing, so I need to rewatch that. Anyway.
It was
I was just wondering if like that was a part of their culture left behind a couple places.
I don't think so.
Anyway.
Well, I mean, yeah, it might have been their culture left behind.
Well, it is their culture.
Yeah, it is. But
anyway, we're getting off on it. Let's go somewhere else.
But I like. There's definitely possibility with this show, and I like that. The story, I like the story. Ideally, like if I was to tell you the summary of the story, it'd sound interesting to you because it'd be like this alien race. Well, no, it's these humans who have powers. They live on the moon.
Yeah.
And they live in secret away from human society. And so, but then they notice that people on Earth are also getting powers the same way they got powers.
Yeah.
And they notice that they're getting mistreated. And the king wants to save them. But then there's others, a part of the family, who don't want to risk their exposure. And then there's others in the family who don't want to be noticed by the humans because they believe humans will bring war. And then there's this whole society on the moon that they live on, where it's the people with powers and the people without powers, and the people without powers are being mistreated and such and whatnot. And they're the lower class, and there's one in the royal family who is human, who does not have powers, and he decides to rebel against the royal family. So the royal family is now on the run, and they go to Earth, and what happens from there, we don't really know. Because that's another thing about this episode. It's kind of left open-ended. You don't really know what's going to happen from there, except that Maximus is still trying to take over and establish himself as king.
Yeah. I was just like thinking of like an alternate version of this, of what I might have done.
Mm-hmm. What would you have done?
I would have like, since they established that they were kind of caring about people on Earth who have started to grow powers now.
Yeah.
I would have had like the royal family go down there to like try and help people, and like when they come back up, they've seen like there's like two storylines going on. One is like the Inhumans trying to help their kind down on Earth, and then the other thing is Maximus, because since he doesn't have powers, he wouldn't go down there, staying up here dealing with the political thing and having that work to his advantage, growing influence, and by the season finale, I would have had them come back up and holy fuck, he's in charge now. Yeah, and he's whipped things into a frenzy while being kind of right and kind of wrong, because you're rooting. Because I'm kind of a little bit rooting with him, kind of like how. Do you watch Legend of Korra?
Yeah. Oh, dude, I love Legend of Korra.
Like,
it's so awesome.
It is. But like with Amon, because you kind of see his point of view.
Yeah, I get.
Because there is like a class struggle in that too.
But the difference between.
Yeah.
At least from what
I'm
I'm
comparing
saying,
like the villains, just like the conflict.
Okay, yeah. I see what you're talking about. What I would have done differently is I would have had just the whole season mostly on Adelan. And it would have dealt with like the political intrigue of Adelan and stuff like that. And then you would have had like a few episodes or like a few scenes where they're down on Earth and they're trying to help out the humans. They're seeing what the situation is like. They're seeing like what's going on with the whole human population. Maybe you get a few cameos in, maybe, like if you're into it. And then you're just kind of like you're exploring the stories of each person and not just like do two different groups. And it's kind of it really goes back into what I was saying with like Game of Thrones. You're exploring the stories of these individuals more than like these just groups.
You know what I thought was great about my idea though, with them like
you know why my idea is better?
No, like because with the main crew, they're and then the people up there, they're the exact opposite. Because the people without powers up there are being oppressed by people with powers, and down here on Earth, you know.
It's like a nice contrast.
Yeah, because you know it didn't go right. I don't say it with like Black Belt in the Royal Black Bolt, not Belt. What the fuck was that? Anyway, their family, like they kind of are unofficially taking the side of the people with power because that's who they identify with.
Yeah, well, that's just the lineage.
It's the lineage, but and they have barely
it's the tradition, as it were.
Yeah, and the only human representation they have is his brother. So that could work together with making, as time went on, Maximus influence grow, and you see him more as more than just a stereotypical villain, while changing Black Bolt and Company's idea of like, well, okay, we're doing the same thing up there. We need to change stuff, and then they have a confliction of interests that have kind of changed.
I like that.
That's what I would have done.
Yeah, no, I see.
I think it's a good idea.
I think it's a good idea too. So
and maybe they get that in a little bit of it.
The idea is that I want to see Maximus like grow his connections.
Yeah.
Like in my idea, I want to see Maximus grow his connections, like his weavings into like because in this episode, in the episodes that he was in, all he did was just like he basically decided, like, I guess it was before the episode happened, but basically he decided, oh, I'm just gonna coup.
Yeah.
And that's all just happened. Like,
what I didn't like is half of it was just so personal for him with him and Medusae. And I kind of wanted it to be more. He did what he thinks is
he's
right.
A revolutionary.
He's doing the wrong thing for the right reason.
He's not a traitor. He's a revolutionary. That's what I wanted to see.
You know what I noticed about like Black Bolt? It's so similar to like how going to DC here. So sorry, Marvel fans, but like Aquaman and Wonder Woman, because they're both people that are kind of away from their kingdom, dealing with this, and their people have no respect for humanity.
Well, that's always the kind of thing that
That's a huge thing with this. But that's just superheroes in general. That's
a problem I always kind of had with Wonder Woman though, because she's away from her people, and so
not like her, but like her people have a thing.
Well, no, that's fine.
More than her, because she builds a rapport with them.
I'm kind of diverging off of Inhumans for a second. That's kind of the thing I had with Wonder Woman, is a problem, because Wonder Woman was always the way she was like introduced early on in comics. She was kind of always like driven away from like her Amazon origin roots. Like they had the origin and they had the story behind her and her background and stuff like that. That's cool. But then you had like the villains, and they were always like the Blue Snowman or like the Silver Swan or like the Dr. Psychowitz or something like that. Like a little midget who has like mind powers, who's like insanely in love with
Is that really one of her villains?
Yeah, that's really one of her villains. Yeah, but like,
I'm really glad I don't know. I haven't read too many of her comics.
But like in the more recent comic books, they've been getting deeper into like her Greek mythology, and stuff like that. Read one and like that's what I wanted for Wonder Woman. She has this origin for a reason. Let's expand on it.
Yeah.
But like with the Inhumans, I see what you're saying. Like they're spending time away, and like while they're away, Atlan will play and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know where I honestly don't know where I was going with this. Like, but I can see what you're talking about, is what I'm saying. And like, no, that's it. Just go ahead and stop me.
Well, we're an hour and 1 minute into this, so we've talked a lot on this.
Okay, so let's give our lasting impressions on the show.
Lasting impressions. I see a lot of potential for the characters.
Yeah.
My two biggest problems are that the fight choreography isn't that great.
They need to up on that.
Yeah, they definitely do. Because they just need to work on that.
Yeah.
Because
I agree.
That hair, I see why they take it out. If that's the best they can do, maybe they had a. Maybe I was wrong.
Like,
they should have cut her hair off.
We were watching that, and we were just like, "That's the royal guard." Like, fuck, the royal family is screwed. But like, I like the show. It has a lot of potential.
Yeah.
Want...
Oh, and the other problem I have is the visual of just their palace.
Yeah.
Because I mean, though
the city needs to be more beautiful. It needs to be more alien. Like,
they have potential. They need to polish it.
It looks like
it needs polishing.
It looks like the city looked like Divergent. Have you ever seen Divergent?
Yeah.
It looked like Divergent, where it's just like all cubicle and like structural. And I'm like, it doesn't look alien. It doesn't look like fantastic. It doesn't.
See, I don't need like the structures to be. It just like the animation just kind of
of the city.
Yeah, it was just okay, and for me, but the structure. Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's a little weird.
It just didn't look like. It didn't like, oh, this is like some grand, fantastic alien organization that are originally from humans, and blah, blah, blah. But it just looked like, I don't know, someone thought like, hey, this is alien, let's do it. But I like the show has a lot of potential, like I was saying before. I'm not gonna judge it based off of this one episode.
Yeah.
I will give.
It wasn't the strongest
episode,
opening.
No, it wasn't.
But it was okay because we see potential.
I will give a show a benefit of the doubt. I will usually give it one season, maybe.
Yeah.
I'll probably give it less than that, just because my schedule's so busy. But if I'm not gonna go out of my way to watch it.
Yeah. Well,
I'll probably just watch it. Like,
that
if I see it,
that happened for me with Gotham.
Yeah.
I tried watching it and I just got so out of it.
Gotham first season was pretty good. It's after season 1.
I don't like Kid Bruce Wayne.
Well, the thing about Gotham is, like, Gotham has this whole thing where it's based off of Batman Year One. Do you know what that is?
No.
Okay, Batman Year One.
I might have seen it.
But... Batman Year One is well, they had an animated movie about it.
Yeah, I might have seen the animated movie, but it's been a while.
Yeah.
So
Batman Year One is about like Batman, Bruce Wayne's first year back in Gotham, becoming Batman, and also is about Jim Gordon like first coming to Gotham.
Yeah.
That's what the show is based off of, and then it's like, so what they did for the show. Bruce Wayne was just a little kid, and this is Jim Gordon's first year. So already they kind of like threw that thing out of the window, where like Bruce Wayne comes back, Jim Gordon dealing with Batman, stuff like that. But the appeal of Batman Year One is like you're not dealing with crazy clowns or a guy with a freeze gun or like this weird guy who likes to put question mark on things or this guy who juices up on like this unsterilized chemical or whatever. You're dealing with like regular everyday criminals. You're dealing with like mobsters. You're dealing with corrupt cops. You're dealing with thugs. You're just dealing with the regular criminal underbelly. And you got to see some characters, like you got to see like cameos of like Penguin's one of the main characters.
Yeah.
But then
I actually really liked his acting though.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
He was in Walking Dead.
Yeah. Oh, was he?
Yep. He was in there for like 2 episodes.
Okay.
He was in there for like 1 episode, and then you don't see him for a while, and see him again for 1.
Okay. Well, my mom really likes him. So, and then you have like Edward Nygma, who's working for like the police, and then you just have
I was
like
kind of annoyed with him.
You just have all.
I'm annoyed with the Joker or the Riddler in general.
I actually like the Riddler in this show. This is the best incarnation of the Riddler I like.
All right.
And then you have like you have this guy who could be the Joker. You don't know, but I like it because there was just like a little spring. They're not saying this is who they're gonna be. That's who they're gonna be, and like the people who are named, who they're supposed to be named, you know, that's who they're gonna be, but they're not pushing it in your face that that's who they're gonna be. Not until season 2. With season 1, they're not. That's not their main focus. That's not the story they're trying to tell. The story they're trying to tell is like it's Jim Gordon. He's trying to deal with this criminal underbelly of Gotham City, and it's cool. I like it well enough. It's not as impressive as a lot of the other DC shows that were out, like Flash. And...
Well, yeah, like comparing like the openers to some of those, like they were fairly strong, but like sometimes they would have like terrible episodes. And so with this, we're not saying like we're just hate all of it. Just it wasn't the most impressive first episode. Yeah, because like compared to Arrow's first episode, where it had a great fight and introduced a lot of cool people.
Well, actually, I wasn't
the Flashes.
I actually wasn't impressed with Arrow when it first came out.
I was, but I liked season 1. And
one of the reasons why is because like I knew they were trying to make it like Batman, but they couldn't because there's a Batman embargo that was going on the same time that was like Smallville was out, and then they were talking about making this new show, like let's do a Batman show, but then they had Christopher Nolan's Batman
going on,
not Christopher Nolan
or
what's his name?
Might have been Christian Bale's.
Yeah, Christian Bale. It might have been
Christian Bale's the actor.
I think the director
Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, Christopher Nolan.
That's his name.
Yeah, let me look it up real quick just to make sure I'm not looking like an idiot, even though I already am. Yeah, it is Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan's Batman. Because Christopher Nolan's Batman, I don't know why they had some kind of Batman embargo where they wouldn't let anyone else do Batman live action. Yeah. And so they're like, what's the next best thing to Batman that's not a part of the Bat family? Green Arrow. Let's do that. Yeah. And so that's what they went with. And it turned out pretty well. Season 2 was probably the best season they had.
I like season 1. I like season 2. Even though everyone doesn't, I like season 3. And I hate season 4. Season 4 is just awful.
What did you think of season 5?
Season 5 was really good. It really picked up for me.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like it brought it back up. I like
because season 4 just had twists. Season 4 didn't have that much fight choreography compared to like another season.
The problem I had with season 4 was that it was just
Felicity.
Well, that. It was the magic. It didn't fit. I don't feel like Arrow is a show about like much like Gotham. It's about the dark, seedy underbelly. It's not about like magic and like mysticism and like boo. Yeah. It just didn't fit for me. But we're getting off topic. Yeah. At this point.
Sorry.
Inhumans.
We like all those shows too. You can like DC and Marvel. People. Yeah. You can.
But Inhumans it's fine, I guess. It could be way better. Way better. But for right now, it needs much improvement, and I'm looking forward to said improvement later on as this series continues. Yep. So by the end of this, we give it 2.5 or 3. So about there. We might because we're optimistic. 3 because we're optimistic.
3 because we're optimistic. So we're giving it a C. Yeah. Because we've talked about all this enough. Yeah. All right. Okay. All right, guys. Well, this was fun. This has been a long one. Yeah. PopCats. I'm Austin.
I'm Jara.
And
that's Molly.
That's a lazy ass dog.
Come here. Say goodbye to everyone.
There she is. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. No, you're just being cute. No. All right. Like, share, subscribe, and cut us off.
Hey guys, thanks for watching this video.
If you liked it, you should hit that like button.
And the subscribe button.
And you should also check out some of our other videos on the channel.
And be watching out for new videos coming out soon.
Yeah.
Alright, see you later guys.
Meow.